Okay, so for 2-1 system, you need to make sure that you lose 2 games in a row. Why is it important? Because you want to lose them as fast as possible. Think about losing in League of Legends as paying taxes for playing the game. You have to lose. Like, there's no way to do it, like, without losing. 100% win rate in League of Legends is about 60% win rate, right? So think about it. 2 out of 5 games is a waste of time that you have very little chance of winning. So I say, okay, if losing is a thing in this game, I will accept it, and I'm going to lose on my terms. On my terms, okay? Because the problem with, you know when to put in effort. That's what I like about 2-1 system, is that you know when to put in effort. When you play solo queue, you play whatever normals, standard way. The problem is you have to sweat every single game because you don't know whether it's winner's queue or loser's queue. You can kind of guess, but most of the time, not really, right? Of course, you can use dodging system, but I mean, again, it's 3 to 4 hours per game. It's not worth your time. Here, you average about 22 minutes per loss, 44 minutes to get your winner's queue. Do you understand? It's more time efficient than the League of Carry. Okay? And you get to enjoy to play with good teammates. Guaranteed. Okay? So again, we need to lose the game on our terms as quickly as possible because we want to pay our taxes as fast as possible. Okay? And we need to make sure we don't win because then you might have to, again, you're going to be wasting time. So you need to make sure that this loss is actually a loss and you have horrendous statistics. Okay? So as you can see, I'm becoming very, very efficient at this. Very, very efficient. You see, it's just like, holy smokes. And losing, I call it reverse league, is a lot easier than winning. Like if winning by your, if one person could win the game in League of Legends, like back in the days you could do it in like season 4, season 6, I would not be doing this. I would be watching my replays. I would be perfecting my CSing, you know, like thinking what could I do better. But unfortunately, the game is at a state where you really, really heavily rely on your teammates. So there's no other way to do it. You have to pay your taxes. Okay? So let's think about it. What are the rules for losing every single game, right? Kayn, in my opinion, is one of the best champions to hit because he's so quick around the map. He has a lot of control, and his wave clear is very quick. So he has a very, very high control over the map, right? So, here's what you do. Let's pretend we are blue, okay? When you start jungle, the first thing you want to do, I go this way. There's usually 3 people here. Okay, there's usually 3 people here. Okay, you go here and you die. Okay, so all of these guys, they get assists. And you give them the first blood, so they're 2 more kills and they get this, I don't know, fleet of whatever. Fleet of strength, okay? Then you farm blue, like this. Okay, and farm this camp. And then you go and you transfer the blue to the top laner. Okay, now, when you're dying, make sure you give the buffs to the enemy. Because buffs are so overpowered. I noticed that as soon as I started giving buffs, it became very, very easy to lose the games, right? So buff transfer is very, very important, okay? And you need to make sure, well, let me just write it out, okay? Okay, so we already covered this. Always die first, right? Because sometimes the enemy is so shite that they end up dying first in like first 2 minutes. So you need to make sure that you do this where you, like, it has to happen before 1.5 minutes, before anybody even goes into lane, because sometimes these guys just end up dying. I don't know, like, they're just not very good. So you have to make sure that this happens, okay? So then, what is the next one? Okay, when you're dying, transfer the buffs. Buffs are overpowered, so make sure to transfer it and give this guy an advantage, right? Most of the time, if it's red buff, you want to give it to these guys. If it's blue buff, you want to give it to either top or mid. These guys don't give a shit about blue buff, right? So red buff goes here, and then blue buff goes either way. I usually go to top lane, I die, okay, then I resurrect, I take this camp, and then I take the red, and then I go feed into the bot lane. It depends. Sometimes I look at, like, if the mid laner is very, very good, I'll give it to the mid laner, then you, or most of the time I'll give it to bot lane. But it's up to you, you know. You have to look at the map and see who on enemy team has potential to carry. Okay, and then try to transfer as much gold into that lane. But, I have to say, make sure you spread your kills really well. Because I used to do the thing where I just feed one lane and it doesn't work. You have to make sure you spread your kills so that your team starts feeding as well. Because if you give 2 or 3 kills with buffs to the enemy, most of the time your teammate's gonna start dying. It's either they start tilting or the goal difference becomes so vast that they simply they just become feeders themselves. Okay, so make sure to spread the kills, right? One problem you need to also understand that we are not going to be playing in diamond elo, we're going to be playing in like bronze iron, so these guys don't farm really well. So you cannot do clear and then go into, like, you can't even do half clear, transfer the buff, half clear, transfer the buff, because you're gonna end up out farming your enemy, and then your system thinks now that you are a silver player. Do you understand? So your teammates, you need to make sure the team thinks that you are worse than an iron 4 player, right? Otherwise, you know, it could be that there's not enough players, and then it'd be like, yeah, you know, let's coin flip the game. You want to avoid coin flip games. You want to make sure that your teammates are good or decent, and you want to make sure that enemy is either okay or they're dog shit, because sometimes on your team one dude is just hard feeding, and the only way you can win is because you literally don't even need him. So because the enemy is making so many mistakes, you can win, right? I'm talking about winner's queue. But in loser's queue, if the guy is feeding, that is fantastic for you. That is very, very, very good. Very, very good, okay? So again, you do 2 camps, preferably with a buff, and then transfer it somewhere, and then die. Now, we are playing normals, so you have to understand that the normals going 0-10 is not gonna get you banned. Like, it's completely normal, because people use, sometimes, they use leveling up bots, and those bots, they die 14 times per game, completely normal. Also, I notice some people, when they don't know how to play a champion, something like Yasuo, they normally go 0-15, and that's completely normal in normals, because especially in lower brackets, like, I mean, these guys don't know how to play, they're just gonna die a lot. So don't worry about dying too many times, but try to avoid dying more than 1 time per 2 minutes. Spread the kills we already talked about. Yeah, so do not do anything that might jeopardize this team from winning, the enemy from winning, like stuff like stealing objectives, stealing their farm. Don't do this, because then what happens is this. You have to understand, these players are so emotional. What they're gonna do is they're gonna start chasing you around the map and not farm. Even if you give him the kill, he's gonna be like, I don't know. They start making stupid plays, like they try to invade your jungle, and then sometimes they get collapsed. Do you understand? Like, so just give them space to do whatever the hell they want, because a lot of the time these guys are just gonna start doing weird shit, and you want to control them as much as possible, and the way you control them is just feeding them kills and make them feel good, and then that's it. And then when you spread the kills, your team starts feeding, and then 15 minutes it's surrender. Okay, so just don't do anything to jeopardize. Now, this will contradict myself, is occasionally, just for make sure to not get banned, if it's a free kill, you know, game is already lost, it's guaranteed, you see somebody with 1 HP, go ahead and take that kill. Especially with Kayn, it's so easy, you press 2 buttons, his ult is OP. In lower brackets, I don't know what it is, it's some kind of mania, they walk around with low health all the time. I don't understand why they do that. Especially you have a lot of opportunities where this guy teleported back, they had a fight or something, this guy, and they do it all the time. Every single game I see this. They have like 1 hit HP and he's standing here farming. I'm like what is it doing? Do you know what I mean? But anyway, I'm just saying that sometimes you have those opportunities to just occasionally, if it's safe, I'm talking about you're like 30, the enemy's like 30 kills ahead, there's no way you're gonna lose the game. There's no way you're gonna win the game. Go ahead and take a couple of kills. Alright, so going 0-10 is, in normals is fine, but try to minimize. Try to like, that's what I'm saying, is that you can kind of time your feeding based on camps. Just do 2 camps, transfer the buff, do 2 camps, transfer the buff, then do clear without the buffs, go die somewhere, right? So just time it like so it's not, it's approximately every 2.5 minutes. And then spread your kills well, okay? Most of the time, bot will need help. So I'm just telling, I'm giving you kind of heads up that you'll... and bot is very hard to feed because a lot of the time jungle lingers there. And sometimes support takes the kill. Which is, you see, it's very hard. That's why I like to wait until jungle and support ganks. They start fighting these guys. And then, like, ADC is somewhere here because they have low health. And I come in and try to pretend that I'm going to kill them under the turret. Obviously, they auto me, and then the turret kills me, and that's it. That's the fastest way to give a kill to the ADC. Because otherwise, support or jungle is going to take it because... I don't know, it's just that... people are like that in here. Anyway. Yeah. At 15 minutes, start surrender vote ASAP. Like, every opportunity to try to do the surrender vote. And that's it. And that's about it. Like, the key to this whole thing is to transfer the buffs and spread the kills. That's kind of the 2 main things. And don't jeopardize anything to make sure that these guys... Because you will have games and, like, you will struggle to, like, lose them, you know, because the enemy is so bad that they can't even win. When you give them 3 kills and all the dragons and they're still struggling to win. It's just like... And this is going to happen to you when enemy has bad champions. You know, shit like Nami, Severe... what's his name? Smolder, like Nidalee, Talia, you know, all those, like, Shaco is another one. Like, it's just, these champions are just losing champions. It's very hard to win with them. So even if you give them all the gold in the world, like, sometimes I have to dodge the team. So, for example, if enemy is stacked with shit champions, and your team is like Garen, Nautilus, Jinx, shit like Malphite mid lane, do you know what I'm saying? And they have like Ahri, Severe, Nami, Kindred, and top lane is like some useless shit like Riven, for example, right? A dude, Iron player on Bronze player on Riven is gonna be completely useless, right? And I'm telling you, you might end up winning that game because it's like it's like horrendous. Do you know what I mean? It's just so freaking bad. It's like these champs are just so bad. It's crazy. Like Yorick is a good champion. Mordekaiser is a good champ. Oh yeah, the champ that you need to ban is Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser ban because this guy can 1v5 man. Oh, he's so strong. And he's a common pick in low elo. That's the problem, is you have to... If the enemy picks him, it's a fantastic for you. Fantastic, right? Because you're trying to lose, he's going to 1v5 easily. But if your teammates take him, and then the top laner is a feeder, he might just 1v5. Like, there was so many games I had where, like, Mordekaiser... Like, I started banning him, but, like, I have other accounts, and he was just, like this game here, you see, like, Mordekaiser, man, he was just beast mode. I had to, like, sweat my bollocks off just to lose this game, because, I mean, this champ is just so strong. Oy. And that's about it. Yeah, so don't take any objectives, transfer the buffs, spread the kills, die every two and a half. And as soon as you get an opportunity, start the surrender vote ASAP. And that's about it. So let me show you some statistics in here real quick. Yeah, so you see, most games, it's gonna be like 23 minutes approximately. Also, another thing I'll tell you about the winner's queue, like if you're trying to, like I like to level up accounts, for example, so you want to stretch your wins for as long as possible. So what I do is I just, once the game is secured, I go farming and let my team 4v5 them, right? But I still take dragons because you want to make sure that you, because dragons are so overpowered in this game that your teammates are gonna start 4v5ing them with like dragon soul basically, right? So you don't take it for yourself, you take it so that enemy can't come back and the win is secured. Do you know what I'm saying? Whereas in here, you want to make sure they take all the dragons. And don't try to avoid appearing anywhere, because these guys, as soon as they see you, they just like get on this absolute like frenzy and they start chasing you. So they sometimes forget to take objectives. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm telling you, it's a very interesting experience. It's just that you play with them and you're thinking, holy shit, these guys are struggling to win the game. There was one where was it? Was Set on my team, I think he was. Yeah, actually it's this game. This guy almost soloed the whole map basically. He was like 6 or 5-0 at some point. And this guy, I don't know, he just like, I was trolling. You have to understand, I was trolling. Like, I'm a professional feeder. I know how to have super bad statistics, right? And I was still out farming him, and I still had higher level than he was, which is like dude, like I don't like he one time. This was his pathing, okay? This was his pathing, right? He took red, ignored all the camps, went here, tried to do the dragon, then went here, then went back to the dragon, stood here. I think he tried to gank this way, went back, they killed support, he went back, this guy went here, and then he ganked, this guy ran away, right? And then he stood here, this guy returned, and then he reganked. Do you understand? In time, this was like at least 6 minutes, right? So all he did was killed support and ADC in 7 minutes. And he took the red. Then he started a dragon because they rotated, because this ADC got killed, right? So there was only support. He was standing there for so long that his red buff ran out. And I was like scratching my head. And then I just wanted to look at his Krugs, right? Well, not Krugs, what are they called? Golems, right? And I looked at the level, holy shit, he hasn't taken them like for the whole game almost. I think he full cleared one time, and he literally forgot that this camp exists. So I'm just telling you, like, it's very easy to, like, jeopardize the game and let them start doing stupid shit. So try to avoid them and don't kind of irritate them, because they can just start, like, they can start doing crazy shit at any point in time. So I'm just saying, like, be aware of this. This is actually an interesting experience. It's a little bit boring sometimes, but, like, I mean, you'll be surprised how shit some champions are. You'll be, like, surprised. And also you'll be surprised how good some champions are, because, like, champs like Ionia, I thought they were actually good, but they were, like, you give him kills, you give him buffs, you give him kills, and he still can't kill bloody Set. Do you understand what I'm saying? Is that this champ is dog shit. Like, people gonna be like, oh, yeah, Ionia, like, there's, like, one challenger, and, like, he's, like, good with Ionia, but, like, dude, it's, like, one player out of 42 million. So this champ is dog shit. Nocturne is also very bad champion. Very, very bad. Smolder is Horrendously bad champion. Just don't play him. Very, very bad champion. Like, Teemo is surprisingly good champion. Like, I did not know that. I thought Teemo was a troll pick, but holy shit, this champ is good. I'm telling you, he's good. Warwick, self-explanatory. This new champ is very bad. Mel, I don't see her performing at all. Garen is like the best champ in the game, I'd say. If you're new, Garen is the best champion. Hands down, like, this champ is just... He is like... Early game, he's good. Mid game, he's a monster. Late game, he's just... That R is just so broken. It's probably the most broken ability in the game, is his R. Because you don't need items, it doesn't... Because R, whether you're 0-10 or 0 or 20-0, is still the same. It only depends on levels, it doesn't scale with any levels. It's just an ability that by itself is good. And it doesn't care whether you're fed or not. Amazing champ. Like, this champ is just amazing. Also, but I'm not gonna like. I mean, all of this stuff is just to... Like, this video is about reverse league. So how to lose games, so I'll just stick to this. Okay? So again, the key to the whole thing is make sure you die first, spread your kills with buffs, transfer the buffs, and surrender ASAP. That's about it. And do that 2 times, and then you play your 3rd one. You're gonna have good teammates. And it's gonna be an enjoyable experience. And again, losing in league is paying taxes. So if you accept the fact that you're gonna have to lose, it is what it is. Pay the taxes as soon as possible. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.